Hello and welcome to Film Faves. I'm Justin. I am VTV's internal director and resident movie buff. Today I'm joined by...
Joe Adams, Vice President of Villanova Television.
Great to have you.
Great to be here, Justin.
First things first, let's get into some box office stuff. It was Easter weekend. And coming out on top were some two heavy hitters, and by that I mean Godzilla and Kong in the same movie.
Yes.
Which I feel like was no surprise. I mean...
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it on the news. I've heard people are into it. I've never been like a Godzilla guy, but it's on my bucket list to watch.
Yeah. It's a movie that it's something that's I'm gonna watch this on the big screen.
Yes,
because that's where the enjoyment comes out of
course, that. Yes.
And then right behind it was the new Ghostbusters, which came out a couple weeks ago, but still kicking in the box office.
I didn't know they made a new Ghostbusters. I thought, didn't they make one with a female cast?
That was 2016, and then they made another one in the same timeline as the original, with Finn Wolfhard. And
yeah.
So it's following that movie.
Are people liking it, or
people are iffy on it?
Okay.
I think they enjoy it. I just think they wish it was better.
Yeah. Because I don't think people liked the one in 2016, right?
No, people did not like that one. People liked the one in 2021. That was Ghostbusters. They liked that one.
Okay, nice.
But this one, iffy.
A little iffy, yeah. I think, when you have a classic movie, it's hard to make sequels so many years down the line, especially multiple. So, not surprised, but I guess people are still going out to see it. So
yeah. And then still chugging along the box office, Dune Part 2.
Oh, Dune. I saw Dune Part 1. I kind of was I watched on 2x speed, I'm going to be honest. Was a little bored by it, but I heard this one's more entertaining. I don't know if I'm going to see it. I love Timothée Chalamet, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie. I think it's not as actiony as they may have hyped it up to be. I think there's a lot more stakes in this one. I remember watching it and being I thought it was going to be a full action movie the whole way through, but it really isn't.
Yeah.
But the stakes, the drama, and when the action does happen, it's all there.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm a big TikTok guy too, so I hear the viral, I guess it's their the score of the movie or whatever on TikTok. Listen, I think they're trying to be a little too I think they're wishing for an Oscar. I think a good movie, sometimes you just have to make them and hope people enjoy them. I think they're kind of trying to be something. They're trying to be a little cool. I don't know.
I don't think so. I feel like it's because I trust the director, Denis. Don't know how to say his last name, but everything he makes, and I've seen all his interviews. He doesn't make a movie unless he thinks it is worth making a movie.
Okay.
So Dune, he was I want to make this.
Yeah.
Dune Part 2, he's I have to make this.
Yeah.
But then
that makes sense.
He's been talking about the third one, and everyone's oh, it's a sure, and you should make the third one. It's gonna do great. And he's well, I'll only do it if it's a good story worth telling.
All right. Damn. Now I have respect.
I feel like I because he's made some great movies in the past. He made Prisoners. He made the Blade Runner movie. He made a few other things I'm blanking on right now. But he's a strong director.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah. So circling back to Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yes.
I have yet to see this movie.
Okay.
However, from what I heard from this movie and the trailer, this movie's insane.
Really?
So I'm just gonna go through 3 things that I may or may not have heard about this movie. I want you to tell me if these are true or false.
Okay, I'm very excited.
Okay. So if you haven't seen the trailer, there is a mini baby Kong. So
interesting.
My question to you is this true or false? King Kong uses baby Kong as a pair of nunchucks.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Listen, I would say false, but that seems so unique that I want it to be true. So I'm going to say true.
It is in fact
true. Oh my gosh.
I've seen the clip. He's just whipping him around.
Really?
It looks like he's giving the kid whiplash.
Yeah. How could you do that to your own child? That's a little, I guess it's Godzilla, but
the second one, this one, if you have seen the trailer, you might know the answer to this.
Okay. I think I've
But
seen it briefly.
King Kong is given a metal mechanical arm.
Oh, I think this is true.
Yeah, he's given like an Infinity Gauntlet in the movie. Like
That's a little. It's not very on brand. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's funny. I think that seems a little like. Once again, they're trying to like be with the times. Maybe like did the original Godzilla have that? No. So why?
I mean, one of the best movies that came out like in the same era with Godzilla -1, very much was not this kind of movie.
Yeah.
And it was praised like at the Oscars and everything too.
Damn. Well, I guess sometimes you have to take risks. I don't know.
And now this last one is on Godzilla.
Okay.
So Godzilla's a good guy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, does Godzilla dolphin dive on multiple pedestrian bridges and end up having a higher body count than the villains in this movie?
First of all, I didn't know he was supposed to be good in this movie.
Or
is he always good?
I think he's always been good in some ways.
Oh, okay.
Because he always ends up fighting an evil thing.
I thought he was the evil. Wow. You know? I gotta get with the times. I'm gonna say I feel like that's true as well.
It is in fact true. Godzilla
Wow.
is just leaving devastation in his wake, killing anyone in his way, including the people that we are supposed to think he's protecting.
Yeah, that's very ironic, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that also, are people like complaining about that?
I think no one's really complaining about this movie. I think
Okay.
everyone's going and just being like, big monster.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I know there's a lot of lore in this monsterverse, but like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's what people are there for.
No. That's funny though. I think, yeah, I mean, he's a big creature, so like doesn't surprise me, but yeah, who knows?
Now, speaking on nuclear blast, which birthed Godzilla, Oppenheimer
I love Oppenheimer.
was finally released in Japan
I heard.
after so much controversy of whether or not they do it.
Yeah.
And it got released with some warnings attached to it.
Yes.
And from the reviews I've seen, it seems like people are liking the movie, but not like an enjoyment. Like,
Okay.
very much like it feels much more like an education in a way.
That's interesting. Now, this is unique. I did just come back from Japan about a month ago, and that doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of we were at This Is All Connected. I was at like this movie theater in Japan, and there was a giant Godzilla head on top of the theater, and it's like a big tourist spot. But going back to what you said, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They're very, like, if that was the roles were reversed, people in the U.S. would be pissed, I think, watching it.
I don't think so. I think
You don't think?
I feel like we'd be like, movie.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't be like, oh, that was good education. No one wants to.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. I would have thought, based on my viewing, not that they like, I don't know. I think that they portrayed, they didn't never like showed it, obviously, like, but I don't know. It wasn't very, to me, I wasn't very educated in some senses. Like, I think I was kind of like just following this man's life in like that sense. So I don't know. But I mean, in other ways, I could see how they would like see it like that. So
yeah, one of the big things that I saw was that they didn't portray the bomb as good, and they didn't portray Oppenheimer as a hero, which I think was something that led to a better reception over there.
That's interesting. I wonder how like in pre-production like they wrote this movie and like how they were gonna like portray it. I wonder if that influenced, like, I wonder who they thought their intended audience for this movie was.
Yeah, not too sure about that.
Yeah. But that's interesting. I personally, I thought Oppenheimer was good. Obviously won all the Oscars. I watched it actually on the plane ride to Japan. So
Oh boy.
that's a little interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a little long, but it's hard for me to stay very engaged in a movie, and I was hooked from start to finish.
Yeah.
I think the music throughout kind of hooked me in, and I'm glad to know that really was released in Japan with a pretty open reception.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
were you a fan?
Oh yeah, I was a fan. I was rooting for it Oscar night.
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters opening night.
Oh really?
I did the Barbenheimer.
Yeah. Oh, I saw Barbie but never Oppenheimer. But did you see it in like the IMAX theater? Like
I
everyone
didn't
was talking
see it in
about that.
IMAX because apparently there's no IMAX in New Jersey, which is where I
Oh,
was.
yeah.
But I saw it on a very big screen, very
Great.
good sound. Like it wasn't a bad theater. It just
Yeah.
wasn't IMAX.
Now, did you dress up?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
People dressed up for Barbie though.
Oh really?
Yeah, Barbie.
course.
Everyone was wearing pink except for
Yeah.
me.
Same with me, and I think I was one of the only men in the theater. So that was another fun fact
Mm.
when I watched it this summer.
I was one of 10 people in the theater for Oppenheimer though.
Really?
It was the day before it was released technically.
Oh.
Like I saw all this on a Thursday when they
Interesting.
technically released it all on Friday.
Okay.
So
Yeah. What a phenomenon that was this summer. Like, will we ever have something like that, like, within the next
no,
few years?
people are gonna force it too much, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be like no.
Oh, I just love that. And even though I only saw Barbie in the moment, all the TikToks, the world was taken by this event.
Yes.
And not that I have a pocket of my own, so I'm going a little off topic. But speaking of the world being captivated by something, this is off topic. Did you know there's like an eclipse on Monday?
Oh, I did know that. Yeah.
Are you like excited for
No.
it? I'm not either.
Well, actually, I think this one actually is like I think there's something special about this one. I remember seeing an eclipse when I was younger, and I was like, okay. I think this one's longer, maybe, or this one is a total eclipse.
Yeah, like similar to the one in 2017.
I don't
where
think that one was total eclipse though.
It wasn't. Okay, interesting.
Because I remember there was definitely still.
Well, I
light.
thought in some places in 2017 it got pitch black, so that it's like the same deal. But then I saw there's not going to be another one for so long, so it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways,
Anyways,
I digress.
so
Yes.
you're on the show to talk about a movie. It was the only movie you wanted to talk about. No other options on your list.
Really? Is that what I put?
I believe you only put one movie.
I filled it out in Nashville, so I was out and about, bar to bar, so it might have been really not thinking in the best way to fill out the form. But yes, I'm here to talk about La La Land.
Yes, La La Land. So you want to give just a quick spiel on what La La Land is for those who don't know?
Yeah, I'll try my best. So like, pretty much it's like a musical about this guy and this girl, Sebastian and Mia, played by Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and they pretty much it takes place in like LA, and they go through just like a relationship. I would say they're both like aspiring. Well, Sebastian's like aspiring like jazz musician, and Mia is like an aspiring actress, and they sort of just both go through their lives, like bump into each other, then they like reconnect at a party, and then they kind of like start a relationship, and then I don't know how much we could probably spoil it, right? Because
we'll get there, yeah.
Yeah, but then it just kind of follows their relationship, and it's really all about how they had to follow their own dreams, and that might not result in them being together, but they did it for the best. It's very deep. That's the way I would describe it.
Yeah, the movie, as you said at the end there, is very much about dreams versus like reality, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
Like both of them have very clear set dreams.
Yes.
Open the jazz bar, and then be an actress.
Yes.
And those kind of butt heads a bit in terms of their relationship, because at certain points it's like you pick one or the other. You can't do both.
Yeah. I was really taken when I first saw it. Can I talk about when I first saw the movie and stuff?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, I let's see, I think this was 2017 I saw it. So I saw it after the whole Oscar mix-up.
Oh, yeah, that thing, yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, like, because I saw it was winning so many awards. So then I ended up seeing it. I was actually away on February break in this was like high school down in Florida with my Nana. I was a little bored at night, and so I'm like, I'm gonna watch La La Land. And so, first of all, I was eating a nice chocolate bowl of chocolate ice cream, glass chocolate ice cream. In the middle of the movie, it smashed, so I had to like. That was a whole nother thing, but that's just what I remember from that night. But I had no idea what to expect. The first scene threw me off because it really doesn't represent the rest of the movie.
No, it doesn't. I feel like the first section of the movie doesn't represent it because even though it is a musical, there aren't that many singing songs.
Yeah.
There's a lot more compositions, I feel like.
Yes. And so I love the first scene. I love it. I actually got inspiration to replicate that in my high school senior video to like, what is it? Oh, yeah. So we have like a whole video of like our year. We were impacted by COVID, so it didn't really work out. But our plan was we were going to do the whole video, and at the end, we're going to do a La La Land type sequence, or maybe do it at the beginning. I don't know which way we're going to do it, but I love the scene. It's, for those who don't know, it's Another Day of Sun is the song, and they're just singing, and they're stuck in traffic on the LA Expressway highway, and they all get out of their cars, start singing, dancing, and the best part is it's in one single shot. Or at least it appears that way.
It appears that way, yeah.
Yes.
I think the best part about that isn't the fact that it is one shot. It's the fact that is actually on the LA freeway.
Yes.
And that they shut down traffic for like, I think it was like they had 40 minutes, I think, in total to shut down traffic and be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I think they only had 2 takes, I think.
Yeah, I like read about that it was they're very stressed because they're like, we don't even know if it's going to work. They didn't, and it worked out, thank God. But I remember that they were, the director,
Damien
Chazelle was very stressed. And I also saw the choreographer of the scene. I watched a whole breakdown of it, and it was really cool. But yeah, it's very impressive that they got it done because it almost didn't even happen.
Yeah, I think it was that and like a few other scenes that sort of led to Damien Chazelle being the youngest person ever to win a Best Director award.
How old is he?
He was definitely in his 20s.
20s.
Because I think right out of film school, he made the short film for Whiplash. Then he made Whiplash.
Yes.
Then he made this. Like I think that he's so far a director who hasn't missed. Even though like people didn't like Babylon too much, I love Babylon. First Man, not my taste, but like it's still a well-made movie.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Whiplash has been one of those movies. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I need to watch that. Oh, I need to watch it because I've heard really good things about it. Have still not watched it, but I've heard it's like pretty good.
I prefer it to La La Land.
Really?
I feel like it's a lot tighter, number one. Number two, it is a stressful watch.
Okay.
That doesn't let up until the end.
Okay.
Like
wow.
You will be like tensed up for.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it is just talking.
Yeah.
But like it's so good, and the drumming, it's just a well-made movie.
Interesting. I'll have to give it a watch at some point. But yes, love the opening scene when I first watched it, and I was like, that's so interesting that this is how it's going to go, and then it kind of isn't like that for the rest of the film. And like you said, it's as it goes on, it becomes less and less like musically and singing, and more just like pretty intense emotional scenes and scores and stuff like that. So long story short, when I first watched it, I was like, I can't believe it just ended like that.
Yes.
That is what got me. Like, I love the film, and I'm like a musical guy. I think that's like really fun. Like I liked Mamma Mia, obviously, and stuff like that. But the ending, I was kind of like, no way. And you'll never get that feeling back of watching the end of La La Land for the first time. It's like that's my Roman Empire, I would say.
Yeah. I think it like you won't get actually, you won't get the same surprise, I feel like. But I think you will get the same emotion, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I've probably seen it like 4 or 5 times now, which is like crazy, but it's sad because like you're like, I could relate. That could be me someday. Like, we all have dreams, we all have goals, and they chose those dreams and goals, and it's sad because you want to believe in them so badly. And like, when I'm able to connect to a film like that, especially with like it's like a romance type thing too. I think sometimes like that's sad 'cause you always get in your feels, and the shock factor at the end, I was surprised. And for me, like a movie that's really good with emotion and really good with an ending like that, like almost a surprise ending. I love a surprise ending. Like I loved Parasite. That was a surprise ending.
Yeah, Parasite was good.
So that's what I loved about it the first time I watched it, like the surprise at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
when I watched it the first time, I think the thing I was most enthralled by was just like how magical it felt, even though like even like the scenes that were like so grounded felt like Lovely Night felt magic. I think that's just because it was golden hour at like that beautiful location.
Yeah, that was also like only a few takes there.
Yeah, only a
too.
few takes there as well, because like you only have so much time for the sunset. But then like also you have like the planetarium scene, which that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It's just so light. I love like the little whistle in the in the score, and then when they take off, it's so heartwarming when it happens.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too because their romance is not very like lovey-dovey. Like you almost just see like it's funny how they connect on a different level, I think, and that's what I really like about it too. It's unique in terms of like a romance in a movie, I would say. But like you said, like the score, the whistle, like everything about it, like the magical feeling of it, I think really adds to it. So yeah, I think that, like you said, like they had to do some things in very limited takes. It's a young director. It's Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling too.
It almost was Emma Watson and Ryan Gosling.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think there was some reason why she had to drop out of it, though.
Ooh.
I forget what it was.
Wow. That's funny. Things happen like that sometimes. You're like, I can't imagine that person in that role. But even people are, like love it so much that like even at the Oscars this year when Ryan did I'm Just Ken, and she sang into the mic, like just that connection. People were obsessed with it because they're like, oh, they're back together again. Like it almost felt so real when you watch the movie that you're like, they belong together in real life, you know?
I mean, I've always believed in another Emma Stone ship in real life, and that's the Andrew Garfield Emma Stone ship.
Oh, I've seen that too.
I mean, they did date for. I feel like they were Mia and Sebastian for a while because they split up, but like they're still great friends. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, isn't there like a picture of them on the like at the Met Gala where like or maybe that's somebody else, but there's like some sort of picture where he's in the background looking at her. This could be totally off. I don't know.
I just remember when Ryan Gosling was accepting his Best Actor award at the Golden Globes. I think Andrew Garfield it was Ryan Reynolds was up for the same award, and he was sitting next to Andrew Garfield. And there's a picture of once Ryan Gosling goes up, Andrew Garfield and Ryan Reynolds kiss.
Really?
Because they made the joke of, hey, what if when you win, you kiss me instead of your wife?
Oh my God.
But he lost, and they're like, let's do it anyway.
Wait, I love that.
And so when that happened afterwards, Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling saw it because they both won awards, and they were like, did you guys see this? And then Emma Stone was like, no way, of course Andrew would do that. Like,
oh my gosh, that's funny. I love her. She's
great in everything.
She just won Best Actress, Poor Things.
Second time, yeah.
I still have not seen it. I started to watch it over Easter break, and I just was so confused. I'm like, I'm gonna have to sit down and watch this another time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So back in this movie, like, what is your favorite scene? Is it the ending or is it something else?
I mean, I do love the ending. I think that when it's this, you don't expect it because like Mia and her husband walk in, you see the logo, and you're like, oh, like I know what she's about to walk into, and then they do the sequence, and I was like, is this real? Is this not? And then it's back to reality, and the look that they give each other when they're walking out. And then the movie just ends. That right there. It's the look and the way it just like, fades to black. That to me was like, wow, that was a good movie. And so I think, it's like 5 years later or whatever, but that to me like solidified it. I was like, I love this scene. I think it's very well done. It leaves the viewer wondering and wanting to know more, especially when they're kind of like daydreaming this relationship of what could have been. So I really enjoyed the final scene.
The final scene is also my favorite. You know, Planetarium is very close behind that.
Yes.
Because Planetarium is just great. But do you know what the epilogue is?
No.
So the epilogue is
Maybe.
entirely from Seb's perspective. Because if you watch the epilogue, every moment that happened in the movie that is in the epilogue, it's him making a different decision. So when they first meet in the bar, it's him not deciding to walk past her.
Yes.
It's him deciding to kiss her. When John Legend comes up and offers to take him off and be in a band, he pushed her aside. When she's going off to Paris, he's not staying behind. He's going with her.
Wow.
The whole thing is him thinking, I could have done all this and we still could have been together with our dreams. So when he's playing, that's everything that's going through his head. And Mia is seeing all that is how I interpret it.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like I think that's one of the reasons why I think Seb is my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
Is the little things that he does in this movie. There are so many things that show that he cares so much about this relationship, but he just always ends up making the wrong decisions along the way.
Wow. I guess I never really thought of it that way, but that is really interesting. What do you think? Who do you think's sadder about the way it ended? Him or her?
Oh, Seb, 100%.
I think so too. But like when she's, when she goes into that, what it's called Seb's, right?
Seb, yeah. That was her. Another thing. That was her design. That was her design, and that was her idea for the logo.
Oh my gosh! When she goes in there and she sees him, do you think she misses him? Do you think she misses him a lot?
I think she misses him and like still probably loves him, but not enough to be like, I'm giving up the life I have now for you.
Yeah, because she's
married. She has a kid.
Yeah,
she made it.
Yeah,
like she likely loves her husband and loves her life.
Yes,
but it's like it is like a sad thing where it's like what could have been.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think like he definitely like missed her more, like you can kind of tell, especially like what you just told me with the epilogue. So yeah, I think that's another reason why like they're dynamic. Maybe that's why I liked it too. It's like sometimes you can relate to like, put myself in Ryan's shoes. Like yeah, sometimes you like miss somebody that like you were like in a serious thing with, and like that could totally be, we all go through. I'm sure I'll find someone like be heartbroken, like that's totally a thing. So I'm like, maybe it's like prepping me for what life will be like, because it's a cool world out there sometimes. So yeah, but yeah, love the last scene.
Yeah, last scene's great.
Yeah.
But what would be your favorite song? Like you could attach it to the scene, but like detaching it, maybe just if you had to listen to the soundtrack.
Well, I will tell you that there's a few of these of the songs from the movie in my running playlist. In terms of like Another Day's Sun hypes me up, like just listening to it on my run. Like it's just like it's fun, it's exciting, like I will run fast that song. And that's how I think of music. Usually it's like, well, I like it when I run, because that's really when I listen. But Mia and Sebastian's theme,
yeah, iconic.
I love it. Like, and it makes me want to learn the piano. Actually, my roommate now, I didn't realize at the time it was him until years later, but freshman year, pandemic, we were just like hanging out, people in Catherine Hall in Villanova. And he was playing Mia and Sebastian's theme on the piano. And I was like, at this time, I was like really obsessed with the movie. And I was like, that kid, like he's playing the song. And now he's my roommate. So I think it's like, it made me want to like learn on the piano, and like it's just so unique. And it's like I could hear that over and over, and then they like make it more whimsical, magical. Like
it's in every song, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. So I love that song as well. How about you? What do you like?
I personally like obviously like you got the fun ones in the beginning. You got The Day of Sun. You got Lovely Night. You got, what the heck is it? Someone in the Crowd.
Someone in the Crowd.
That's a fun one.
Yes.
But I also love all the score. Like, I can't separate the score too much.
Yeah.
Because I would say Planetarium or Epilogue,
yeah.
but that's not fair.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go with Audition, which is Emma Stone's, I think, Oscar-winning scene.
Yes.
Which I think is what it was. I just love that song. It starts off so soft. It's telling a story, and then you get into her swelling, and there's one line. What is it? The way she says it, it just sounds like pure poetry. I think it's like, it's something about like poets plays and something.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I also don't remember the exact wording.
I gotta.
Please look it up.
It's gonna bug me.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it out. Audition.
I forgot about the audition scene. That like totally escaped my mind. That is another iconic scene.
What's your dream? It is. Oh yeah. So bring on the rebels, the ripples from pebbles, the painters and poets and plays.
Yes.
The way that she delivers that whole section of lyrics,
it's perfect.
It's bliss. It's perfect. It's. I couldn't ask for anything better. Like if I could just have that on repeat, I would be happy the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Like it is sonically perfect.
It's almost like tickles your brain in the right way.
It
I would
does,
say.
yes.
Like the way she says it. Yes, I also love that song. The audition scene, iconic, as of course.
It's so simple too, yet it makes such an impact.
Yeah, no, definitely. And who but Sebastian told her to go do that audition, which is a whole nother aspect to that. So, yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, another one of those small things though is the fact that he knew exactly where she lived because he remembered her like once saying that she lived by a library, and so he was able to find her.
Yeah,
house.
it was kind of far away, right? LA is not.
Yeah, it was
she's
in,
like outside of LA.
Oh, where was it?
I don't know. All I know is that it was like a good drive for him because I remember him being like, "I came all the way here," but creepy, maybe.
I wouldn't say so. I think they had enough of a history where it's like this isn't creepy. He's not doing this for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Even that scene, like when I think about the house and what that looked like, just think of magic. That's what I keep coming back to. It just feels like not fake, but just like it just. I wish reality looked like that. Like it just looks perfect and like I don't know. The whole vibe of the movie is just really cool. I wish life was like that, you know?
Yeah. And then there was one other thing I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
And that would be, the who I have dubbed ever since watching it the last time, the villain of this movie, John Legend.
Okay, yeah.
I have dubbed him the villain. He very much like isn't villainous in his intent, but he is the reason why I think most of the bad things start to happen in their relationship.
Yeah. So remind me, because I feel like I got a little fuzzy on like the role of him in the movie.
So he is the guy that approaches Seb and is like, "You want to be in my band?"
Yes.
I know you love jazz. And then Seb gets there and it's like not jazz, and he's like, "I know you love old jazz, but that sucks because no one listens to it. Listen to what we got now."
Yes. I remember that.
And then he ends up like he keeps like making the tours and the photo shoots that like separates time between them, and eventually it leads to him missing Mia's show.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're bringing
me back. So hard to watch when she leaves and it's just broken.
It's like awkward, almost like at secondhand embarrassment at times. Yeah, I could see him putting it. Now that I think about it, he really put a ripple in that relationship.
He did. Granted, it was again Seb's choices, which he looked back on in epilogue.
Yes,
but
that's the thing too. In the epilogue, like you think about, everyone can relate to making choices in life, and you want to go back and change them. You're like, everyone has that one thing in life. If I could go back, I would change that. And he's just replaying all this related to this one girl in his life that he was in love with, and that's so powerful. But yes, I think John Legend, you know what? I will say it. I think he's a villain as well. And such a unique person to have in like a film. I feel like
He
John
was,
Legend.
yeah. I think he fit the musician vibe enough.
Yes.
Like, I think Damon Chazelle is very much a jazz fan,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Yeah.
Whiplash shows that. This
Yep.
movie shows it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some of Babylon shows that.
Yeah. What is Babylon about? If you give me like a 20-second elevator.
So
pitch.
it's about the transition from silent film to talking films, and it's sort of
Oh.
about some movie making people from silent films and their struggles to make it to.
So interesting.
It is very interesting. It's long, it's a lot, but
Yeah.
it's very good.
It's a totally different vibe than like Whiplash and La La Land. I feel like.
It's very much a party atmosphere, as I
Yeah.
think what the thing was going for, and I think that's what makes the quieter moments hit so much harder.
Yeah.
Is that outside all the glamour and all the craziness,
Mm-hmm.
you hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's so interesting.
I think that should have won best score at the Oscars
Really?
again. Justin Hurwitz, the guy who did La La Land,
Yes, he's great.
and basically all of Chazelle's stuff, like, he's a freaking genius.
Yeah. Like every song hit in La La Land is because that's what I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
like other, but like, and it's not like, oh, I need to be reminded of what it sounds like. I know what it sounds like in my head. I could play it over and over. Even if I haven't seen the film in a while, I know exactly what it sounds like. That, and like you'd think about like Oppenheimer, great score. Like those are like really good. Like you don't get that every film.
Yeah, I mean, there's only like a few composers I'd say that you can find someone who can do that. John Williams is the big one.
Yeah.
John Williams is the big one. I think the next one though is what the heck is his name? Alan Silvestri is the other one,
Oh, I've heard of him.
because he made the Avengers theme
Of course. Yeah.
and he made the Back to the Future theme.
Which I haven't seen Avengers at all. How do you feel about that?
Any of them?
Not a single one.
Nothing in the. You haven't seen this?
No.
No, you weren't there for that.
I think I maybe have seen like one or two, but it's so random. One day I will sit down when free time is hard to come by these days. Maybe this summer when I have nothing to do, post grad, I will sit down and like watch all of them. Is there like a special order I should go through? How many are there? Like a ton, right? 40?
I mean, now you got TV. I recommend stopping at a certain point.
Yeah.
At a certain point, you gotta stop.
I'm sorry, we went on a tangent.
Yes.
Composing, great. I will say, power of a composer, hard to come by.
Mhm.
Even we're working with a composer right now for the documentary class that I'm at Villanova University. And it's really hard because you're going back and forth with certain scores. And there was actually a really good one a few years ago that they filmed. I think it was the Tanzania doc, where the whole score throughout was like, it was similar in like each scene, and they like played on it a little bit, and that's like a score I'll never forget in my head. So it's hard to come by, but La La Land did it great. So, yeah.
I think one of the things I saw on like Instagram, which made perfect sense, is that me and Sebastian Steen is this decade's married life from Up.
Oh yeah.
Like
That
married
makes total
life
sense.
was in the whole movie.
Mhm.
Just that little.
Yeah.
All that, and then
Yes.
you have Mia and Sebastian theme, which is just is that City of Stars I'm doing? I don't know.
City of Stars is so good too.
That one won an Oscar as well,
Yeah.
which I feel like you could have picked a better song to have the Oscar win.
I was gonna say. Yeah.
I think Audition should have won the Oscar.
Yeah.
If it was, I don't know if it was nominated. I think Lovely Night was the other one that was nominated.
Yeah. Which is another random one too.
I mean, Lovely Night was very much more of a dance score thing.
Yeah.
I did like the lyrics though. I like the fun. Another thing about that scene, I love the fact that this car was just right in front of the house, and he decided to walk all the way with her.
Yes. That I love, and that is like, what a gentleman, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a long walk in the scene, so
Yeah.
I forgot about that. You reminded me of like I've seen a lot of times. It's been like a little bit, but like these little things you forget. Like they're like each thing is so like iconic. I guess each scene I would say iconic. But yeah, he did walk, and then he had to walk back to his car. That is hilarious. I forgot about that. That's when you know he's He's starting to feel her. But he should have made more good choices like that because he kind of didn't work out. But alas, he has his jazz bar. So
Ryan Gosling in this movie is the human version of the Barry B. Benson meme of "You like jazz?"
Oh my gosh, B movie, another classic, of course. Jerry Seinfeld, big fan. I will never forget when that was a trend, and it would be like playing it once, 4 times, 16 times, and it just like expanded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to talk about with La La Land here? Anything else you feel like needs to be touched on?
All I'll say is that I think it's a movie that I'm constantly looking up movies like La La Land because it's like a good musical. It's a great story. It's something you can relate to. It has the ending. I think that, dare I say, it should have won Best Picture. I don't know. I love Moonlight, but like,
I've gone back and forth on this.
Yeah,
and it's like
both are great.
Both are great movies. Like, but like, La La Land won so much at the Oscars.
That's true. Would have kind of been like,
Like Moonlight won Best Supporting Actor, Mahershala Ali, and then I think won Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah.
La La Land won Director, Actress, Score, Song, Production Design, maybe Cinematography. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, they were racking up awards.
Like, they were racking up awards. I think I was watching that night, and I was, like, thinking La La Land is going to win because it's sweeping so much.
Yeah. I also thought the same.
Because, like, I thought Director was, like, a telltale, like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I think, like, I could go back and forth. That year, though, I feel like there was a lot of solid movies in, like, the Best Picture category.
I think there are 2 years that stand out in my mind as 2 of the best years of movies and Oscars. And that would be 1994, I think that was the year, and 2019. So
I was going to say 2019, or was it 2012? What's 2019? What did that have?
So 2019 was Parasite's year. So
that's exactly what I was going to say before you said that.
1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Irishman, Marriage Story. But then you go back in 94. I think you had Lion King,
which I have never seen.
Yeah, you haven't seen that. You have Lion King, Forrest Gump.
I've seen that.
Shawshank Redemption.
Have not seen that.
Pulp Fiction.
Have not seen
So that's 3 movies right there that are currently on the top 10 movies of all time.
All time.
Yes.
I need to, first of all, watch more movies, but you're so right that those are movies that standalone are like arguably best of all time. And yeah, I think back to 2019's year as well. And I'm nostalgic for that because we haven't had like
because that was right before COVID.
Exactly. And then there's a few I think we're starting to pick up again, but like there were years where people were like, things were different on set.
I think what hit hard is that was the last year I feel like that movie theaters had a fighting chance.
Yeah.
In some aspects. Once COVID hit, streaming took over. Streaming movies took over.
Yeah.
And now we're in just the same. And now we're making movies that are the same, and only action comedies, so that people will go to movies.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the movie. And like Barbenheimer brought a little bit of like, oh, there's hope, but like, it just stinks because some movies are like they're in theaters for like not that long, and then it's like, oh, now it's on HBO Max, and it's like, I don't know. I miss when you used to have to like rent the movie,
or like you'd hope and you'd be like, oh, I hope when's it gonna be on? Then like surprise, it's on that. Like you scroll through Netflix one day and it's like, oh, I've been wanting to see this movie.
Yes, and now it's like all pre-planned out. It's like, well, it'll release in theaters and then it'll be on streaming on this day
in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, thanks for nothing. I mean, I guess I get it, but it's just sad to see something that we both grew up with, like going to the movies. It was so fun. Even like our parents and like generations, like that is like going to the movies is just like, it's just a great activity. And who knows the future, right?
I hope that they don't die out because a movie theater is just so, they're too like, I don't know. Let's burn down Netflix.
Yeah.
Once Stranger Things comes out, we can shut it off.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know. You get the popcorn. I get, it's like expensive or whatever, but it's also like an experience. And I love the lay down seats. Like, have you ever been to like a good AMC or like that's fun. But yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm a little worried about the future of the movie industry in terms of movie theaters.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess time will tell if they survive through the pandemic and through the streaming era. But yeah, I don't know.
If you haven't seen it, this is for you at home and you as well.
Yes.
There's a clip from Matt Damon's Hot Ones episode where he talks about why DVDs were so important to the movie making industry, and I wish we went back to that, because what he basically talks about is that even if you could make a low budget like drama, put it in theaters, and then you'd be financially okay still, because the DVDs would come out, and then people would buy those or rent those from Blockbuster, and it's like that was also revenue. But like you can't make those anymore because they're not going to be what people go to streaming for, so they're not going to make those for Netflix. And not many people are going to see them in theaters, so like you don't have those in those movies anymore. That's such a good point. Like, I guess we probably both were some of the last kids to like grow up with DVDs. Oh
and
yeah,
DVD
I grew up
player.
with DVDs. Yeah,
and like it's sad to think kids probably don't even know what a DVD is now, like young kids. And there was nothing better than like going to the store. We didn't, I guess it was Blockbuster a little bit, but mostly for me it was like buying a DVD, a movie you always wanted to see, and like popping it in, playing it. We had a little mini one we play in our car, like
we have
a little
one,
portable.
We have one as well.
Yeah, like on a long road trip you'd watch with like your siblings or whatever. So yeah, he's so right that like these movies, like you need like all these big budgets now. Like it's just kind of sad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, let's hope something changes.
Let's freaking hope something changes.
I don't know, things are looking dystopian in the movie making industry.
We need things to look like La La Land, magic and exciting and thrilling.
And full of heart.
And
not full of corporate greed.
Exactly.
All right.
But yeah.
So yeah, now I'd say we're ready for the last segment here.
Yes.
Of some fan casting. This one's going to be interesting because there aren't that many key players in this movie.
Yeah.
But obviously we'll start with our first two. Let's start with the Oscar-winning role here of Mia, originally played by Emma Stone.
Yes.
Who would you say could play this role?
Emma Stone. I think, a few come to mind, but I see, oh gosh, you're going to have to cut out me thinking.
All right, we're going to cut now.
I could see Gianna playing Emma Stone.
That's very interesting because that was my exact thought as well.
Really?
Because
okay, good.
I'm a little biased here because on many occasions she has said that she believes that Emma Stone is her personality match celebrity-wise.
Really?
Like she believes that she gives off Emma Stone energy.
I think I could see
and
that.
And now
yeah.
I've been indoctrinated with that same thought.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, yeah. So I think Gianna. But yeah, I think, obviously she has a great personality. I think I could picture her like dancing and singing through the streets of LA. And I think that she'll be very successful in life. So that's how I see that lining up.
Yeah. Also seeing her act, like I feel like she's a good fit for the acting dream.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
She can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I think is the harder one, which is Sebastian. Yes. Sebastian, I feel like is a little bit harder here.
He's very. A lot of people could probably fit certain aspects of him. I mean, I could see Aiden being Sebastian. I think that like, I don't know, just like the way they like both come across. I feel like he gives off Sebastian vibes, and I think they're both a little witty. I think that in terms of the jazz, who knows? I don't know if he played jazz. Aiden played jazz in middle school. But I just think Aiden, when he's like determined to do something, he'll like do it. And I think Sebastian does that with like his dream of like jazz. And I don't think Aiden's like gonna do it at the expense of others, like throwing away like relationships or anything. But like, yeah, I don't know. I get that vibe.
Yeah, Aiden was also my pick.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Wow, we're really.
But I think for a different reason.
Okay.
My reasoning was, the one trait of Sebastian that really sticks out to me, is that when someone doesn't like jazz, or someone hasn't heard of jazz, or throws away jazz, he's like, "What? What do you mean?" And then he tries to like really show people like, "No, it's good because of this, 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 this."
Yeah.
And seeing him talk about like certain movies and stuff, like, and like other things, like I feel like he could imbue that passion as well.
Oh yeah.
Of like, so just replace movies with jazz, and they'll be like, "What? You haven't?"
Yeah,
I feel like you could definitely get that. I think he gives off another similar energy as well.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I think we need to like make a remake of La La Land and see it happen, maybe.
See it happen.
No, yeah, I agree. It's funny. Do you think we're gonna go like 5 for 5? You think we're gonna keep
Probably
going?
not.
Okay.
Let's go with the 3 roommates of Mia now.
Okay.
This one's easy for me. I'm just gonna say it right away.
Go for it.
This is just Steve Inc. This is Josh, Demetrius, and Tommy.
Well, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, like the classic trio. Supporting their friends all the time.
Like I feel like you can't pick just 3 random people in our club and just throw them.
No.
You need to have people who are going to be extremely tight-knit on the same page.
Yeah.
It's those 3.
Oh, yeah. I could totally see them like breaking out in song and dance too, out of nowhere. And yeah, they're 3 determined men. Shout out all 3 of them. By the way, do you notice when I just said shout out, I almost have people tell me I have a Canadian accent when I say out.
Out?
Do you think so? Like I say out sometimes. Do you ever notice that about me?
I think occasionally, but I don't see it as Canadian.
All right.
Like now that you say it's Canadian, I can understand why.
Yeah, I like to mention it. People started to tell me. Like at the doc premiere last year, people come up to me and go, "Oh, I didn't know you were Canadian." I say, "Excuse me?" They said, "Oh, like the way you're pronouncing all these words." Alas, getting off topic again, but yeah, Steve Inc. Shout out.
Yeah. I think John Legend will probably be the next.
John Legend. Ooh, yeah, that's like a curveball. Oh, what do we have the same person again? I really want to go in the past, so I'm gonna say Trevor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's a new person to our edition of castings.
Yes,
I'm gonna have to find a picture of Trevor.
It's Trevor Yandow. Is that correct? Is that his last name?
Yes, that is his last name.
It's a fun last name to say. I just think, I don't really know why I said Trevor. Besides, I could just listen. I see John Legend as like, I guess, all the actors in the movie and actresses are famous, but I think John Legend is like a random little celebrity cameo. At least that's how I first saw it. And I just feel like Trevor is kind of like my VTV celebrity. I always was like a little nervous to talk to him. And I actually saw him like over winter break from a distance, and I didn't say anything because I was too nervous. But I don't really know. I guess Trevor and John Legend in this film, both really, I just think they both like throw wrenches in things. I think when Trevor was on E-board, I hope he's not watching. He would just like, throw a wrench in things sometimes. Like, I think he's like a little funny and like, he's like, he was good at what he did, but like, you just never know. Like, no. Oh, now I kind of want to change my answer.
Okay, what's your
should I?
Yeah, what's your second answer? Well, I'm gonna keep in the Trevor.
I mean, I didn't really know I was going with Trevor. I could see Antonio, because like you never knew if he was gonna like show up or not, and like same with John Legend in the film. Sometimes he appeared, sometimes he didn't. I don't know, guys. This one isn't that good of casting for me. But Justin, I want to hear what you're gonna say.
So I was thinking Jacob for this role. Of John Legend.
You're so right.
Because I feel like what he is he's sort of taken away. Like he has his own thing, and he's like, we're gonna spice it up. I have this awesome new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Come be a part of it. I feel like that's him with any project he's working on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, come be a part of this.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like Ridiculum is the band in this situation here.
Yeah.
He's pulling people away from VTV into Ridiculum.
Yeah, he does need some Ridiculum love.
Yeah. I feel like though I can see him being like we're doing something new here.
Yeah. No, he like gets people into it and like
yeah,
makes people feel like we're gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see that. Now, is there anybody else that we should try to cast?
Yes. One last person.
Okay.
And that would be Mia's husband.
And that, without question, is Connor O'Malley.
It is. It 100% is.
It's Connor O'Malley. I mean, let's be honest here. Mr. Steal Your Girl, like, he's just like a ball of fun. Like, I can just tell he's going to be like rich and famous, marry someone who's successful, and he's Mr. Steal Your Girl. What can I say besides that?
I can also, like, he looks like the guy, too.
He does.
He
really
looks
does.
like the guy.
Yeah, that one I had right away, I will say.
I was beginning to think, man, this is the first episode we don't mention Connor O'Malley.
Oh, we're going to mention Connor O'Malley.
And here we go.
Yes. You know, he looks like him, and he would, like, you know, get with Emma Stone. You know what I mean? Like, he just would, because he's just that guy. So, Connor, if you're watching, shout out. I think that you and Emma Stone would be great together, but alas.
Right.
Is someone coming in?
I don't know.
Well, I guess it's good.
I don't know. Let's see. All right.
Well,
that was someone is coming in.
Aiden, we were just talking
it's Ryan
about
Gosling.
you. It's Ryan Gosling.
It's Ryan Gosling.
Of course I did. La La Land.
For real?
Yeah. Aiden, if you can't hear, is actually starstruck.
He's crying. He's.
I
Gianna.
said Gianna. So, I don't know.
What'd you say?
Oh, I said the same for both of those.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
Guys, I'm honored.
He is honored.
I'm honored to even have been able to talk about La La Land with you today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm happy you were on. I'm so glad that I get to cut out all your thinking.
I know.
In this
God, I'm sorry. I'm a
episode.
big thinker, and I like to not plan. I like to be on the spot, but I probably should have planned a little bit. But yeah, I thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you for being on.
Go watch La La Land if you haven't, please. It's an incredible movie. And anything else?
No, that's it. Next week, we're gonna try and have Isabella on, and if I'm not mistaken, her movie is 13 going on 30. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. So if it's wrong, I warned you.
And did she give you multiple choices, unlike me?
I think so.
Again, I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. I was happy to talk about La La Land.
Good. All right.
Well, that's it.
That's it. Thank you, Justin.
Yes, thank you, Joe, and Logo.